Okay. All right. Good morning, all. I talk softly and I do not have a big stick, so I'll just have to ask for everyone's indulgence. Hey, good morning, everyone. Just want to go ahead and call the meeting to order. Let me just go ahead and get a roll call from our board members. I believe Kevin, you are with us on Zoom. All right, Kevin. Yes. All right. I think Chris Carson is not expected to be with us today. Glenn?
Already the present.
Already the present. And then I believe Kat, is Kat with us by Zoom yet?
Yes.
Yes, present.
Yes, present.
All right, very, very well. All right, and then Butch Rice.
Here.
All right, thank you very much. Appreciate you all being here. Thank you to our ex-officio members for joining us. You'll just go ahead and you have before you agenda item number 1. If you've had time to review the minutes, thank you, Renee, for sending those out in advance. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor? Approved. All right, you all, I think we just have one action item on the agenda this morning regarding a new committee member. Stephanie, would you or Derek like to lead out on that?
Yeah, just as a kind of introduction, this body, the CWB board, is tasked with approving our state plumbing and electrical apprenticeship committee members. And so Derek, our director of apprenticeship, is going to tell you a little bit about our new member and have you approve them. I believe you have all the information here.
Good morning, everyone. So today we are asking that you approve Mr. Matthew Beck as a member of the State Plumbing Apprenticeship Committee. Here a couple of months ago, he was brought in front of the State Plumbing Apprenticeship Committee. They were able to ask him questions, go through the whole process. They approved him unanimously. And we are seeking to have him get approved for that committee by y'all. He's from the El Dorado area, works for Glenn's Mechanical presently, and we feel like he will be a very valuable member to this committee.
Got any questions of Derek or Mr. Beck? Have a motion to approve Derek's recommendation?
So moved.
And second?
Second.
All in favor?
Thank you.
Thank you, Derek. Appreciate you getting that lined up. All right, I believe next agenda item is the steel making boot camp presentation. Dr. Hagel from Arkansas Northeastern College and Stacy, right?
Yep.
Yep, it's with us today, and just a personal note, have seen them in action, have seen the school and their training programs in action, and just great asset to the state of Arkansas, and just appreciate that, and I hope you'll take the opportunity to brag a little bit.
Absolutely, thanks, Danny. I appreciate that. First off, let me set the tone. I'm not from higher education, so we're friends here. Okay.
That hurt a little.
Yeah. Earmuffs. I worked in policy development and then ended up in economic development. And so I really see I believe in the mission of economic development and workforce development through the community college. That's the purpose of why we get public funds to be able to impact the economy and keep the economy healthy. So if we ever do anything other than that, that's fun. So, all right. Welcome to Arkansas Northeastern College. Obviously, we're not doing much up there. 13% of steel production in the nation. It's a national security thing to us. We're incredibly proud of what we're doing. Every day we're taking 18-year-olds and we're tricking them into making $150,000 in less than 6 months. It is incredible work. And so with that, let's get started. First, let me begin with, it's really Stacy's. Stacy Walker, our Associate Vice President for Workforce Development, does all of it. And obviously she replaced Gene Bennett. You all remember Gene. Gene is still with us. He did retire, but I pay him to basically not start trouble. And so he's on a part-time contract with us. Stacy runs it all. And so it was a very easy transition between Gene to Stacy. All of the contacts with the industries, all the HR people go directly to her. So when I hear other colleges say, "Oh, how much do you talk to your industries?" Every day, I mean, literally every single day, we talk to our industries.
I'm not exaggerating. Hi, I'm Stacey. I'm AVP for Workforce Development, like Dr. Hill said. I've spent 15 years doing this. I'm a product of Arkansas Northeastern College. I graduated in 08 with my associates in IT. So my first job with the solutions group was IT. So I kind of grew up doing this, did not know it would land me right here in front of you today. So I'm excited to tell you about all of that. In the workforce training division is 3 separate divisions. So we've got customized training, we have the allied technologies, and then we have the tech center. So I'm over the allied technology side and the customized training side. And then the tech center is our secondary center. So it's all in one building.
And I will say this is the closest to capitalism we get is our solutions group model, which we love. I mean, and industries love it too. And this, I really have to note, if we say what is different about ANC than other colleges, it's our solutions group. And what we do, and obviously through the support of Stephanie and OSD, is we can go into an industry and we can say $250 for training. They can send 40, they can send 60, they can send as many as we can fit in the room. It's $250. They like that. People can cross-train. They can send it for an entire hydraulics line. They can send all of their people through. They use us every day to do this. And so again, it's incredibly value added to the economy. This is the value proposition we make to our companies every day. Solution Group. Again, 13% of the nation's steel production. We've got 5 electric arc furnaces. This all began with Nucor Yamato in the late 80s. Then expanded to Hickman. We had Big River Steel come on, and then Big River 2. Now High Bar, and we're looking at it looks like we're going to keep growing. At this point, we're looking at where we're going to get people, obviously, and that's what we all here are having those same conversations. You're going to see ANC position itself as a lot more aggressive in the future. Can't earmuffs. And so there's going to be some complaints from other college presidents. And I apologize for that. But we need people, and we've got good jobs. And so that's what we're going to do.
So last year we did, and this is clock hours, 6,000 plus clock hours of industry training. I have 19 instructors, and I can't do this industry training without the expertise of the instructors. This year, we're from July to now, we've done about 1,300 hours of customized training, and these are, again, clock hours. Very, very proud of what we've done. You can see that COVID year was 488. More than 15 years ago, I had 4 instructors that worked alongside me, so we've grown to the 19 that I spoke about. The buckets of training, we've got industrial, electrical, mechanical, all some of the things that you've seen before from other colleges, but we get really aggressive with what we do, especially in the electrical. My electrical instructor is actually a master trainer from the Air Force and had 20 plus years of experience in steel industry. So he's also very aggressive, knows everything from basic electricity all the way up to PLC programming, which is needed for our area.
And just to note, Ken, obviously you know this, we have to pay these individuals more. And so we have a completely separate pay schedule that we have to pay, obviously, our industrial folks. Our nurses are also on that pay schedule.
Yes, the one I spoke about, he's expensive.
Seriously.
But he does a lot of training for us, so. Again, a little bit more of our buckets. We've got aviation, automotive, HVAC, crane, we use third party, heavy equipment, dabbling in industrial maintenance now, manual lathe, manual machining, CNC machining, things like that.
Which, again, it's shocking for us to say that now we're starting to get into industrial maintenance, but with our economy where it's at, our mills want to be able to solve those processes, those problems by themselves. And so they either want to be able to mill the machine part that they need, or actually put it in, they have a secondary machine that automates it. It's insane. So they want both automation for industrial maintenance and also tool and die. And these are completely separate categories.
little bit of stuff that we do. That's our aviation maintenance hangar that we use for a little bit of everything. I wanted to show this because we're community responsive. Kind of think, well, why are there cars and fun things going on? Well, that's what a recruiting event that we're responsive to, the needs in the area. So I got a lot of this in there.
Don't tell the FAA.
Yeah, don't tell me anything. So since we are the steel producing capital, we have partnered in 2018 with SMS, which they are the manufacturer of the equipment that makes the steel. So we have an SMS group that is actually in Osceola, Arkansas, and they fix the facilities and fix the equipment that make the steel. So with that comes our North America training facility for continuous casting, for SMS group training, for hydraulics, mechanical. They shut down an extrusion line in Pittsburgh.
They send everybody from across the nation to our camp. That's the
Everybody.
biggest brag point I can say is that they trust us so much that we are almost their exclusive training provider.
And we are going to do more with them in the future. The Pittsburgh facility did extrusion training, so that's basically a giant Play-Doh factory. And then comes down to extruded piece. So they shut down that training center and moved it to us. Now we do that as well.
So that's, sorry, can I answer
Yeah.
the question?
Yes.
So that's a revenue opportunity for you, people coming from all over the country, so significant revenue generator.
It is.
They also, yeah, it's good for the hotels, good for the restaurants.
Yeah.
And the other thing we do is, and you all have been to Mississippi County. We like for you to come to Mississippi County with an impression of what you'll see and to go home knowing that Mississippi County is a great place to live, work, do business.
And they're all told to stay in Blythe. So when they come from Canada, New Mexico, they're told to stay there at the Holiday Inn, Comfort Inn, and then come see us and they're there for anywhere between a solid week or 2 weeks, so. So I kind of switched gears to the Arkansas Steelmaking Boot Camp, which we are so appreciative of. The industry's had a need to basically grow their population in a very short amount of time. So we're going on our third iteration of the boot camp, and I could not be more proud of this program.
And the boot camp spawned from a conversation that the secretary hosted on our campus over, well, what does the steel industry need? And it was essentially, we need workers right now. And we can't wait for the 6-month CP. We've got to do this right now. Obviously, Office of Skills Development stepped in and gave us a pot of training money to pull from. It's not a grant. It's just, if we can do the business, we can get the individuals to work. That has been incredible. How many individuals?
490 something. I have it on here.
And we place, okay. Well,
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get there. I don't want to spoil alert, but
Yeah.
it's incredible. I hate, again, it's a strange place to be a college president advocating for non-credit workforce programs to the point that it literally, they don't touch anything that would traditionally be of value on a college campus. They don't touch classes. They just walk in. They may go to the bathroom. They may go to the vending machine, and that's it. They walk out. They come in and do the training. They get a job. We may not see them again.
So some of the topics that we came up with, which was a collaboration between us and the industries in the area, as you see on the screen, were directly related to the training that we did for them as new hires. So like Big River Steel, when they came online, we did most of that training for them. Preventative maintenance, first aid CPR, the steel making processes. Same thing with Tenaris, when they train their new hires, we do the hydraulics, we do the correct use of tools and things like that. So we bottled it up into an 80-hour boot camp that everybody gets to go through for either new hire training or because you're entry level and you need something to do. So I kind of want to shift the focus to the students because I want to make sure that you guys understand the impact that you've had on the students. We've had several go through the program that didn't know what they wanted to do. We've had several that upskilled. We've got different outlooks on the training program. So when we get to the numbers, you'll see how many was placed in steel industry, but how many have jobs and how many we still need to place. Of course, we don't like to do math on Friday afternoon. So in relation to that, we shift math to Monday. That's even worse.
I actually didn't know that. Okay, yeah.
That's the most negative comment that we received about boot camp. Don't do math in the afternoon on Friday. So there's some of the students, and you'll see that
That's good.
they went to work at SMS, right? So we talked about them being the makers of the steel equipment. Now they go to work in the steel industry and all of a sudden now Big River sees them, Newport sees them, Highbar sees them, and they're just keep funneling the path forward, so. Several individuals, and you'll see that they range in different age ranges as well too. So 429 participants for the 3 years, 325 employment gains, 297-ish, I'm hoping for another one today, and 24 cohorts. And the 297 is with steel companies or steel related companies. So we're talking about the processors and the sheet metal and the fabricators and the welders, those two. These are all self-reported.
We've not had a single complaint from the industries on these individuals. Okay.
But if I'm not getting ahead of you, what's kind of the demographics of those 429, particularly as it relates to our Arkansans and proximity to either living in or close to Mississippi County? What was that
In or
look like?
close, for sure. We've got a lot from Missouri, a lot from Tennessee, obviously bordering states, but most of them are Mississippi County.
Do you have housing there for these students, or
No.
how do y'all work that? If you've got students coming from out of state or different counties, do y'all
Most of them
have,
stay in the hotels.
and how long are these courses?
It's 2 weeks.
Oh, it's just 2-week
Yeah,
course.
2 solid weeks of pretty intensive training.
Okay.
Nationally recognized credentials after that. So the ones that, most of them drive in because they're within 30 to 40 minutes away. Usually I did have a few coming from St. Louis that would come in and say, now they live here. Because the people that they go to work for is partnered with the Work Here, Live Here program, and that Work Here, Live Here program gives them incentive to live in these houses. It gives them up to, what is it, $10,000?
5% of the house cost.
Yeah, 5% of the house cost.
What they're using it to waive the down payment to the banks. It's essentially a guarantee, and the banks feel comfortable giving the home. And so for a young person, they're able, and we're seeing a really strange, it's not strange, it's you got money on it, but we're seeing it happen a lot. Young guy goes out, gets a steel mill degree. Girls in the nursing program with us. He goes to the mills, she goes to the hospital or a local facility, they get a house paid for in the county. It's incredible. You can't tell them anything. You know what I mean? They've got it all figured out. You can't tell them anything. Which is good. I mean, it's good. It's, I'll get there one day.
That's very strong.
Yeah,
So what are the most common barriers you're seeing with the participants?
transportation.
And we opened it up. This was originally, we tried to run the boot camp with some of our partner colleges. And you know, again, those economic developers may not, I'd say that they hated the idea because we were gonna run that boot camp on their campuses they were gonna run it and receive the funding of themselves as well. But we just wanted to get a pipeline of mill workers. And so I think maybe one cohort at another college was ran, a full cohort. And so it didn't work. And so we actually tried to open it up to the region. It just didn't quite land. And so, yeah, transportation's the major barrier.
What was the failure point on the partnership, Chris? Proximity?
Yeah, I think so. Because obviously we got great partners. I say that, I joke about the other colleges. These are, I mean, their hearts are in it, obviously, and we're all defined by our local economies. You know, I think that maybe they didn't have the impetus to drive their students towards it, or maybe when they were making the pitch to whoever had to take it and lead, maybe it wasn't enough. I don't know. It just never really happened.
Well, I will say too, that they were a little leery of us coming in, instilling their population to come here. Whether or not
That was
they,
it.
whether or not they live in our area or work in our area, they were still a little concerned that we were taking from the employers in their area.
And we had, it was Blackbird, and then his economic developer was there. And who I went to college with and great friends with, all that to say, she said, I don't like this bit. I get
Wage
it.
competition?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, because ultimately it would incentivize a migration. We are actively trying to incentivize a migration, so. Yeah, that's right. I mean, we kind of apologize about it, but at the same time, you know, my board is very clear, help grow Mississippi County.
So if it doesn't work, holding it on another campus,
Are you allowed to target students from surrounding counties outside of your?
And that's why I say you'll see ANC be a little more aggressive. We're not gonna go in their territory and ask to do English or math or anything they're focusing on, but we will carry our STEEL program. It's a very good program, and what I'm talking about is it's the high school component. But our short-term CP is 6 years. Our short-term CP, and obviously, thank you to ADHE for all the money we received. It's incredible. If y'all didn't know how great Ken was, obviously. Thank you. I have to say that, but truly, we've got a director that gets it, and that's great. And that's no disrespect to previous directors. He gets it. Our short-term CP is outperforming. It's the data is in the dashboard. It's muddled, so all of our CPs are together. Our short-term 6-month CP is outperforming every other credential up until UAMS graduates master's degrees. It's a 6-month post-graduation metric, or six-year post-graduation metric. So 6 years out, our kids are killing it. And there's Jefferson County Regional has got a really good nursing program. It's incredible. I'm not gonna sell them short. They're outperforming us in the TC. The bachelor's degree, there's no one in the state producing a bachelor's degree that's competing with our short-term CP or our associate's degree. And so again, it's just, when I say it
From a wage perspective.
wage growth perspective, that's right. And so I say, for us personally, it makes a lot of sense to try to drive people into STEEL. It just makes sense, but we have more capacity, we have good wages. There is some mobility. I'd say 150 miles an individual can travel fairly easy. Highway 18 has completely changed Jonesboro, Mississippi County, and Iraq. And so, I don't feel any shame in saying we've got a really good product. I want to sell it to as many people that will have any interest in buying.
I have one question. Like ASU Baby Systems has an outstanding welding program.
Sure.
And it's, Heber Springs, but they're not gonna go find too many jobs in Heber Springs.
I'm from Heber Springs. You know why I'm not in Heber?
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah.
So are you going after those students? I mean, those would be.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll say this, I'm probably.
At least working with the college
Yeah, not specifically with that campus. But we would work with anybody that would be willing to not performatively engage. What I mean by that is some colleges will want to partner just to partner, so they can have the talking point. We're tired of wasting time. We're here to work. And so if the college is serious about working with us, we'll work with them. Absolutely. We've got high schools around the state asking us, bring it, and it's because of obviously our great friend Randy Zook is out talking about our program and saying, this is a good program. If you want value added in your schools, get this program. So we get phone calls from, I'm not going to say, huge high schools that we are absolutely going to go and work with. And I'm having conversations with those college presidents to let them know, I don't want anything but what we're working on. And we also do a little aviation, so we can sell that too. But again, that's why I say I don't want to be rude, but the state of Arkansas pays for us to go out and impact the economy in a good way, a positive way. And so we're going to do that. We would to draw arbitrary borders around the county and say, well, this is where our value ends, would absolutely short sell the state. And so we're going to continue to push that.
Where's your best pipeline coming from, Chris? From as far as high school, Chris?
Manila, Rivercrest, Gosnell, and then Pemscott and Dublin. Those counties are doing it. The Missouri Boot Hill gets it. They've got a lot of mill workers up there, and so they see it, and it's an incredibly impoverished area, and so you can visibly see prosperity. When someone's driving a new truck, the whole town knows it, and so that sells those programs. Obviously, we're working with Bible like we never have before. They have opened up their doors. We are so thrilled with the opportunities now. It's incredible.
In the school district?
Yes,
okay.
Yes. And so again, I can't say enough about the future of what's going to happen in Bible. And it looks like we're going to be creating some very meaningful pathways for those students. And I mince no words when I say we need representation in those mills, because the economy will benefit. That is what Blytheville and Osceola needs more than anything, is good paying jobs.
Have you pointed your secondary center at the same path?
Yes, absolutely. We're fully linked up. And again, we've got a strange, this happens because of both OSD and ADHE. That's how this happens for us. And so we make jokes, but it just wouldn't happen. that support, so we appreciate you all.
Well, to speak to that point too, our instructors that we talked about, they're 12-month instructors, and most of them teach either from college credit to industry training and also in the secondary center. So when industry says, okay, I want this in a training pool, we trickle it down into college credit, and now ultimately, we're gonna talk to high school kids about the same thing. So it's really wrapping around full circle, so it's very intentional that our instructors teach the 3 levels.
Chris, you mentioned the Blindville School District is really engaging. How about the Osceola School District?
They are as well. Y'all met Mayor Harris? He's after it. He's really on. They've got a good consultant as well. And so what I would say is we've got actual paperwork available on what we think will help. We've not actually submitted that with Osceola, but we're ready to have the conversation.
Some of those are the job positions that our boot camp individuals are getting hired into. I'm especially proud of Mr. Webb here. He is 68 years old and one of the first hires in High Bar. He was formerly in the steel industry and wanted to do something different.
This is he's working now for Dave Stickler.
Yeah.
Dave openly says that he wants to have the highest paid workers in the steel industry. And he's doing that. I mean, he's able to do it because he's got the highest production by volume with the fewest amount of workers. And so I don't know, I cannot say enough about High Bar.
And as you can see by the message, our students and our completers are our biggest advocate. Few more. This gentleman on the left, that was an interesting story too. He was driving Interstate 55. He was moving. He didn't know where he wanted to go, what he wanted to do. He stopped at Arkansas Northeastern College, talked to Adrian Poole, which is one of our instructors.
We put him at the steel mill.
And we put him at the steel mill. So within the 2-week boot camp, he got his qualification certifications, interviewed, bought a house, qualified for that work here, live here that I talked about, and now he's at SMS.
Yeah, don't come to us and tell us you're bored.
Yeah, no.
What does he make roughly in a
So
position like that?
at SMS, he's probably clearing about 70,000. Now, when he gets seen from Big River and gets picked up by them, he's gonna get 125, 150 easy with the production bonuses and things like that.
We've, a lot of our students are getting fast tracked out in those mills because of our internships. I want to say that's what's really the connector is they get in those mills, they get placed in the mills for the internship, and then they figure out, oh, we like this individual, or they can operate in the environment, or they don't like the individual, and that's a win too. We don't want to place someone that's not going to work out. And so that's essentially, when they get into prime metals and SMS, they'll openly say, we're the primary recruiter for the mills.
Should we be recruiting people from the Boot Heel of Missouri to move?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We get really good students from the boot hill. We get really good interns, and they're going to work in the steel industry. Anyways, it's very close to their house.
Are you going to the schools in Missouri?
Yes,
High schools?
we've got recruiters that are only paid to go to Missouri. I've actually started policy. No. Sorry.
Do you maintain for your fee schedule, it's not tuition and fees, it's just a registration fee, I don't know what you call it or whatever like that, so you don't have any out of state, you maintain
Not for solutions or any of this, yeah, but obviously for our post-secondary.
but you have touch state reciprocity or touch state tuition, so it wouldn't matter.
Yeah, we don't have any Missouri students in our secondary career center, so those are only high school part. And that's have to do with funding. Missouri has their own pot, and so obviously they're not going to give us their money. So
Right.
that makes sense.
So I'm sure you have credible prior learning policies in place, but have you had even a single one of those 400 or 325 matriculate?
No question, yeah.
That really?
Yeah.
Because I've had a lot of policies, but matriculation rates on credit crossing back in.
Yeah.
Or non-credit crossing back in, mine were always really low.
So they get in the mills, and the mills really do like our programs, and so they'll say, hey, you need to go back out, and now you need to focus on, hydraulics.
So you walk them back into the credit side, and so you get short-term training,
And that's
back up into.
these are managers, our managers at our companies love us, and that because we're a solution, you know what I mean? They have solved, we try to solve.
So you come back in and put like in continuous improvement or lean or those kind of things into the.
Yeah, we've got, PLA crosswalks we're starting,
some of this, so
We've got a pretty robust PLA program that's all vetted by the instructors.
that's awesome.
Yeah, we're pragmatic. I mean, you know, if it makes sense, we're gonna do it. Maybe I just don't know well enough, you know, who knows, but, it's working for us, obviously.
You guys taking those NWTI?
Again, just a few of the completers. I just want to talk about and brag about what the students do. So this is our team. Adrian Poole, I talked about, Lee Nellis, I talked about, and that's Michelle. She was our first coordinator. We're on Tori Bell, who is our coordinator as well. Could not be possible without that team right there that was carrying the boot camp. And I was so thankful that we were able to hire them as part of our team because we use them as more than just in the boot camp. And then Dr. Hiegel, who gives us the
I kind of
freedom.
haircut since,
He gives us the freedom to do whatever we need to do.
thanks, appreciate that.
And then you can see some of the qualifications. They all came from industry. All of them have top credential in their field. So you'll see like master trainer for the Air Force or certified welding inspector or inspector authorization for the FAA, things like that.
Are you running a pool of adjuncts or 1099 folks on top of these, or this, or are you staying with full-time mostly?
Mostly those.
Yeah.
Mostly those, as far as the workforce training goes.
We run a lot of adjunct in our gen eds, yeah. And really, I mean, I hate to say it, but we borrow some from gen eds to help pay for this.
And if there is a need, and there's an expert in the industry, I'll hire them for that particular class.
1099, just as needed.
Yeah, we have, say that, we have good instructors across the campus. I'm very happy. And on the way in, if my job is to love A&C, I'm fully there. And that's absolutely evident.
Some of our partners, not all of them, but some of them, especially the ones that taken our product from the boot camp.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, we don't call it boot camp anymore, or the boot hill of Missouri. We call it the contested area of the Arkansas, Missouri. Yeah, I didn't know to bring that up.
So we've recently added a tour piece to our boot camp. So on the last day when they do their interviews, they go out to Majestic Steel, and that's a steel processor. So it's a good connected piece. And in the next month or so, we'll pick another company to go there, so they get to see it. That helps them make their decision at the end of the day to go with that company. So I'll wrap up by saying a few new things that we have coming up. That is on the top left, that's the SMS extrusion equipment that I talked about earlier that came from Pittsburgh. We're going to move that and place my 3 brand new CNC machines, which I'm excited about. Now we have to figure out how to pay for 3-phase and, you know, a hole in the building.
Oh, no, now we have to figure out how to pay for 3-phase and a hole in the building.
So anyway, but it was a good problem to have, just because the top one at Merrill Steel, they are hiring CNC machinists, they are hiring manual work, lathe workers, they're hiring welders, and it's very timely because they're going into the Denso facility that recently closed, so.
More specialized we get, the closer we get to a stamp. And that's the ultimate goal, apparently. I don't know what that means, but the stamping bill, so.
The next need that we have is increasing electrical and automation training. We have a phenomenal electrical lab and automation, but we're moving more into robotics. Merrill again wants to do FANUC robots and things like that. We're running out of space, which is also a good problem to have. Our big 90,000 square foot facility is already out of space. Then trying to keep up with everybody else that's going on. The last final thing that I want to talk about is I'm proud of this project as well. Zekelman came to us with a need. Zekelman Industries Atlas and Wheatland are in the city county, but in the southern region of the United States, there's more plants. So now we're becoming the southern training hub for Zekelman Industries, kind of modeling it after the SMS.
You know, we got on a call with him and he said, you know, this is good. We may use you as a southern training hub. And I said, well, what about the national hub?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next time we talk, it'll be national.
I have a question. Do you work with the Arkansas Correctional Department?
We do.
Because I know there's what Blytheville has you have facility there.
But we actually, and we kind of done a pretty good job of getting those individuals placed.
Yeah.
The bills are.
I know someone who had a son that was there that actually worked at one of the steel mills.
Yeah.
So do they go through your program or how does that, you know?
Same as anybody else, just you answer one question differently.
Yeah, I mean, so you are actually going after this one, I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's great.
Absolutely.
I love that.
We
Oh, no,
have
we
two
were-
populations. We have a jail and we have the correctional facility. Our correctional facility, we do targeted like construction tech skills, welding skills, things like that.
These are non-violent, but these are, I mean, this.
Yeah, that's what this guy was,
Right.
you know, yeah, very much so.
And our correctional facility actually does work release program for these industries. And I'll talk about Merrill Steel again. They're looking at hiring their first group out of the correctional facilities.
We like it because they don't go back to their locations where they're gonna go and reinvent themselves, obviously. They stay with us. It tremendously benefits recidivism because obviously, if you just throw a bunch of money at someone, they're gonna probably end up being all right. Obviously it gives them some self-respect and dignity. They know that they're in a meaningful pathway. It's incredible. I mean, that's why I say, I sit here all day and tell you, this is life-changing. It truly is. I mean, for me personally, to move from one job to another, okay, that's okay. But to take somebody who has only ever, had a minimum wage job, and now they're making $70,000, complete life-changing, and not just for them, their family, their kids, their grandkids. So, I can do this all day.
Yeah, this individual's making $25 an hour, $30 an hour.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so when he got out, he was only there, he was up there 18 months. And he had like $18,000, had saved up.
It very well likely to be the best 18 months he's ever spent.
Absolutely.
I can't say enough about this too, and all of this that you just heard, OSD only invests around relatively a small amount, $240,000 a year.
Yeah.
And that's just for the boot camp. Now, we also, every business that comes and does all the customized training come to us and we reimburse them 75% individually to all the mills and all the companies in the area. And I will say ANC is the gold standard of workforce training, and I just can't say enough about the good work that's going on in this.
Thank you so much, David. We intend to keep doing it, and if we can do it better, we'll try that.
How many of your Arkansas students that go to the boot camp, are they awarded a workforce challenge at this point? Are you capturing the workforce challenge funds?
No, we're not. And actually, we probably need to have a conversation offline because the way we do workforce training, and we wouldn't want to change this with our industries, is just one flat fee. And so we don't charge by the head, and workforce challenge would be an individual.
We need to fix that.
Yeah.
Because they need to be capturing workforce challenge. It just went from 800 to 3,000.
I know, that's what I mean.
So it's
the
probably just
intention.
maybe take a little load off of OSD funds. And Senator was heavily involved in seeing that increase. So, and we're looking for ways to optimize that. And in the process of time, that's all going to change because we're opening up to privates too. But we need to lean into that.
Yeah, and we can't obviously, you've got to work with all colleges across the state. So if that's, we don't want you to change something just for us. And so if it works for everybody.
Well, I think it has to be either or. I think it might be both and because we are changing some of the ways to do it on the rostering and things like that. So we figured out a way that you did a pro rata.
Yeah.
That you could optimize or find great funding streams rather than just be dependent on one.
Yeah.
That's what we want. Yeah.
Dr. Hill knows I take all the money.
Yeah.
That's
One quick point. These efforts at ANC at this point in time get zero funding from the Division of Higher Ed because it doesn't produce an academic credential, and that goes into their productivity funding formula. Now, we've changed the law back to the Access Act, and we're standing up a non-credit formula to recognize and incentivize this type of activity. But that just happened in the spring. So, kudos to these guys and Stephanie for doing something that is out of the box. I say cliche, but they're not. None of this work unless they crossed it back over and gave a certificate would get recognized in the way we currently fund.
Yeah, it's great. It's great work, guys. Tell us about your governance structure.
The college itself, or or Mississippi
Yeah.
County. I'll tell you that.
Obviously, you've got your employers just heavily engaged.
Right.
They got skin in the game.
Oh, absolutely.
That's the key.
Yeah.
But tell us about your governance.
So number one, I do want to say our board is, I would say, it's public, so I'll just violently independent. They do not want to be a part of the system, and we feel entire autonomy, and we're fast and agile because of that. So number one, we're an independent board. We also have Cliff Chitwood is on our board, our county economic developer, who is over Great River Economic Development, which is our county economic development group. So there's a lot of synergy between these. The way this operates is the county pays for a portion of the training, OSD pays for a portion of the training, and together we're able to give essentially free training to our industries. That to the industries, they don't know any better. They don't feel it. You know, they just experience it. And they, you know, we talk to each other all night and we work well together. That's the way it should be. They don't feel any friction. So they just know A and C gives them free training. That is a really good position to be in. So I guess countywide, you know, and again, we have we really don't politicize. Our county mayors are not entirely involved in Great River economic development. They are involved, but it's not a political thing. And so we just unabashedly make sure that industries are taken care of. And I'd say that that's probably the governance structure.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stacy and Chris, for coming.
Incredible honor. Appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the great work that you're doing.
Well, I believe, I believe we're gonna cover, the two northern corners of the state today. And David, appreciate you all being here, and if you would, you want to introduce yourself and the other gentleman?
Yeah.
Sure.
So I'm David Patty. I'm the president of the NWTI. I came on board May 27th. That's part of the slide. Brian came on in May as well. It's Brian Evans. He's a technical trainer. He works with the foundation, and we're from industry, and that's our background. And so we're heavily focused on standing up a lot of the industry support. The school, of course, does one half, which is the students that are going to be the workers of tomorrow. And then we are standing up a program to really focus on your incumbent workers and start adding skill sets into already great employees. Just keep adding those skill sets, and we're trying to expand what skill sets we're going to add into those individuals. And prefer to come over there.
Okay.
Because I got to put the notes out.
All right.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity to come speak with you today. I really appreciate it. And Chris and Stacy, fantastic. That is a fantastic job you're doing.
Think a lot about you all.
So.
Help us.
We'll be talking.
Yeah, we need to talk. But one of the things you mentioned is when you see people's lives change by what you're doing, that once you get hooked by that, it changes you. Right. And so that's a little bit of the story of how I got here today. So Brian and I, we both come from industry, and a large portion of our time in industry was Tyson Foods. I was 23 years with Tyson Foods. Brian, 22 years with Tyson Foods, director of maintenance and reliability. I was associate director for maintenance training. And so once I started training individuals, and just people would shake my hand and be like, you know, and you start to see their pay change as they increased in their skill sets. And those kind of things, they really impacted me. I worked with the school some while I was at Tyson Foods. And I was like, man, I really wish I could work with the school more. Well, be careful what you wish for, because you might just get to do it. And so, let's see, I'm trying to make sure I go off my notes. My notes are for you, not for me, because if I get started talking off my notes, we're going to be here for a long time. So we want to talk about skills development, but part of that, we want to walk down the OSD support that we've received. Now, you're talking about a guy that just came on board, and I do have a little bit of the history, but I'm going to try to walk us down a little bit of the history of the support for NWTI. And so we can see that there's been an $8 million investment in the last 3 years for NWTI. The focus has been an ammonia refrigeration program, an automation loop, and if you want to know more about what that Dematic automation loop is, it's got some details over on the right. And then you have a hire grant, which is supporting as far as short course training costs, equipment for the programs, instructors, those kind of things. That's the investment that's being made in Northwest Arkansas. And so let's just dive into a little bit about the hire grant. So hire grant specifically is $4 million. This is some of the breakdown of the grant. We got 1.7 for equipment, 500K for classroom renovations. This is the school's 50th year. And so we've been around for a while. And those renovations were definitely needed so that we've been able to bring the classrooms up to a specification that we really want for industry. And then we have instructor pay, we have instructor training, so we can bring our instructors up to the skill set we want as well. And then training fees. So current spend is at $102,000 for reimbursement from the hire grant for the no-cost training on some of the short courses. So we're looking at 53% increase in attendance this quarter. So we're starting to see it ramp up. And then we have had 88 people come through the ammonia program to date. We had 400,000 spent in October toward industrial training program. Most of that is in the loop because we had a lot of action going on. The loop came in last month. It's being wrapped up and installed this month. So a lot of spend there. And then one of the things that I wanted to point out, and I had to put it in my notes here because things are changing pretty fast, is we see we've had a pretty good increase in attendance, but we've had 88 people to date, and yesterday we had 39 people on campus in our operator 1 and operator 2. So we're at almost 50% of the total for the year happened on top of that yesterday. So another 39 people. For operator 1, operator 2, ammonia training programs. Exciting. So the ammonia refrigeration, I don't expect a lot of people to know about ammonia refrigeration in this room, but it's critical to our food processes and other processes that in the state and with a lot of the manufacturers that we have. And it has a lot of tentacles. And what I mean by that is it touches a lot of different disciplines. And so right now, after people learn about ammonia, get into those programs, well, they have all the electric motors. And most everything we have in this room is here because of an electric motor. It either got transported down a conveyor or they have the pumps, they have the fans, all those type of things. So this is the foundation for expanding out into other training areas. And so this has been really good for us. So the background is in 2018, $1 million came from the state and $1 million came from the industry, and that we built a very large facility. And then phase 2 of that project started in 2021, and phase 2 involved another $1 million from OSD, and we built a 2-stage refrigeration system and placed a boiler on site in this building. In 2025, the refrigeration system received its ammonia charge, and that means that it was completely built and the ammonia came in and it's ready to run. So one of the interesting things about this 2-stage system, it's the only one in the state of Arkansas, and it's only one of 4 in the United States. So it's very unique. I remember when the license plate used to say the Diamond State. Does anybody else remember that? And so this is definitely a diamond in the state of Arkansas. So we see over here on the right, so we have some ammonia refrigeration courses. We have introduction to ammonia refrigeration, operator 1, operator 2, and coming January is operator 3. So that's where you really start to get more advanced. That you're going to have a lot of your engineers showing up for operator 3. That's exciting to see. And yesterday, out of the 39 people that was in attendance, 13 were out of state. So that was neat.
What's the tuition for them?
It's $1,400 per course.
Okay.
This is a 1-week course. So when I say short course, it's a 1-week duration.
Okay, so you're generating some revenue there.
Yes.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, that's real good. So I mentioned that also inside of the ammonia building, we had boilers come on site. And so we had Mid-South Boilers, a great partner, donate several boiler training items. A new Cleaver Brooks boiler, fully operational and inspected this spring. And then also a cutaway boiler, and if you don't know what cutaways are, it's where you take something, you hardly get to see the insides of it. And somebody cuts it open and lets you see how it actually works. And this thing is as large as your truck that you drive. It's fantastic to see. It's a great item on display up there. If you're ever at NWTI, we need to go look at that. I love cutaways. I love those kind of things. I like shiny things anyway. And this is really a neat thing to be able to show something to the students that are going to come through there that they typically won't get to see, is how all this is put together. And so Mid-South is going to provide the training at NWTI. So how do we expedite the training and without having to get an instructor of our own, build curriculum? We just partner with the experts that are already doing it. Bring them on site. They already donated the boiler. Why don't they just use that? And they have a great reputation. The Dave Millay, if you don't know who that is, he's a great guy, but he basically wrote everything there is to know about boilers. And he's going to be doing the training at NWTI. So that's a fun partnership. The boiler training is going to be operator one. So it's your frontline people. They're going to come in for a week, get a training, and it's going to be awesome. Preps them for the license. And then October is our first class. So it's next week, isn't it, right? So next week is the first boiler training class at NWTI. So that's going to be fun. I think we have 29 or 30 people already signed up. Actually, it's a full class, as many as we can get. And then in 2026, we're going to switch from operator one, and they're going to throw in an advanced boiler operations class. So this is where you start to get into design. You're going to have more of an engineering focus on your boilers. So we're kind of covering operators and design, and that's going to be a lot of fun. And these trainings are happening quarterly right now. So if we need to change that frequency, we will. Let me check my notes, make sure I didn't leave anything off.
Sir, on your website, it shows that a 2 to 4 day training period. Is that correct? Like on the boiler training and all that?
For the boiler training, it's actually a 5-day class. If you drill down in and actually see that course, it's 5-day. Where the 2 to 4 comes in is when I talked about the intro to ammonia refrigeration. That is 2 days.
Oh, there's short classes then. I mean, just,
yeah, 2 8-hour days. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I just wanted to clear, but yeah, I guess what we're trying to define as short course is anything 40 hours or less. So that's what our criteria for short courses would be. Anything 40 hours or less. So we could have a 2-day course, we're going to still classify it as a short course.
That's correct. So some neat things is we have some additional partners coming in, and these are people that are in the industry. And just a couple of neat call outs here is we have a company called Crosno K, which is an odd name for a company, I think, but we had somebody named Crosno and somebody named K. They came together, they formed a company, and they decided to call it Crosno K. What do? They offer an AI refrigeration technician. So they come into our system and actually install their computer that is a artificial intelligence that is a perfectly trained refrigeration tech. And what he does is he monitors your system 24/7 and optimizes it. And so what they're seeing is up to a 20% reduction in cost of running your system with their AI generated refrigeration guy. Monitor your system. And it's fully customizable. If the electric company comes to you and says, Ken, can you shut down from 6 to 9 on these days? You can go in there and program that. And if it sees that it's able to maintain your temperatures by shutting down during that time, then you get those benefits as well. So it's an awesome system. They've been a lot of fun to work with. They didn't ask for anything. They just came in and put that in. But the nice thing is partnering with them, now they get to bring their customers into NWTI. We get to show the school and they get to show off their system to prospective customers. And then Nowco. So we're working with Nowco. If you don't know who they are, they're experts in water treatment. On a refrigeration system, you got to treat the water that goes on the condensers. And in a boiler system, you got to treat the water that goes into the boiler. They're the experts, and they are looking at putting in their systems, and then same with them. They can bring, they have partners in, look at the system, do training on it. So we're having a lot of fun. We're trying to line up a lot of things like that, because the reason we're trying to work with industry partners is it allows us to get a lot of training on the campus and do it in a short period of time, and then you have the experts already doing it. And they're doing it somewhere else. A lot of these people were renting out hotels or whatever to do a training in. Why not come to NWTI and do that training? So that's the thought process behind it.
So they're bringing all their instructors with them, basically.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And also on Cross OK, they said, we will give you videos, you can play in the class, and we'll have a guy that you can Teams meet with and answer any questions. So they've really offered up a lot of things. They've been really great to work with. And then just last two weeks ago, we went to the Arkansas Manufacturing Expo and we met with KP. So you arranged a meeting for us with KP. So they've already been to the school. They are fully on board. Talking to Stephanie right now because she.
That would be Keithley Patterson.
Yeah, Keithley Patterson. They're an electrical supplier in Springfield. They're a big player. And so one of the things that I've been wanting to offer on the campus for a while is arc flashing safety. And whenever I was at Swan's Foods as the automation manager, that was one of my challenges. How do I get up to speed? What's the easy button for somebody to get up to speed on arc flashing? And so that's why it was on my heart to do that. And I talked to KP and they are going to offer a class. I think our first one, I think it's in my notes to be December, but it's actually next month.
Are they supporting you in any way with your Rockwell stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the other things is they've offered to send their people up during a VFD training or whatever and do a little spiel. And it's, so far we haven't worked out all the details, but they're fully on board. Yeah, exciting. I think it's going to be a good partnership for us.
The reason David is talking about partnering with all of these folks is because one of the challenges that any community college in NWTI has, as well as trying to hire an instructor on a state salary.
Yes.
So you and I talked at the showcase and we talked about, the difficulties you were having, and that's why I'm glad to see that you're not only partnering with Keithley Patterson, but also these other folks. That's the solution.
Yeah, absolutely. We got to find solutions because we're trying to 1099 folks. And as you touched on, some of the salaries that industry makes, it's just really hard to attract the qualified people. And so we're doing everything we can. We're getting as creative as we possibly can to get instructors, qualified people in, because without the quality, you just have training. So we want to make sure we're quality. So automation loop. So this all, I'd love to take credit for all of this, but this all got started before I ever showed up. And so Dematic is kind of like when you say Kleenex, everybody knows what you mean. When you say Coca-Cola, you know what they mean, whether it's that brand or not. But Dematic is kind of that way. They're the go-to people for if you want to sort boxes. You have lots of boxes with labels on them. You want to sort that. You can see some of the big names over in the gray section over there that use these kind of sorters. This is fantastic. Did you get to see it yet? Okay, so you got to see it in there? Okay, awesome. So we started installing last month and it's going to wrap up this month, hopefully before our grand opening of the building on the 30th. And this thing it's got every kind of technology you can imagine. It's got some linear motors on it. It's got regular VFDs. It's got all the vision to scan the labels. So we're looking at curriculum that's going to focus on the mechanical side of things, the operating of the system, the automation side of things. How do you keep this thing happy and sorting your boxes for you? Some of the cool things about it is, it has customized sorting options, so you can do whatever you want to do as far as how you want to sort your boxes. Very, very cool. It's got advanced technology in it. It's real time as far as when it is sorting the boxes. It's looking at all that and it says, hey, I want to go, the box to go here and backed up over there. Where's the next box go? And anyway, it was fun to see this thing in action. We got to go to Michigan and see this thing actually working.
You might be saying, why did OSD fund $3 million? We have a little company up there in Northwest Arkansas that we thought if we can connect NWTI with Walmart and have everybody in Walmart all over the nation come to NWTI and get their training in this. And then you bring in Dollar General and all of the other folks that use this. This allows NWTI to really become a showcase, a training showcase for the southeastern part of the United States, but hopefully the whole United States.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for pointing out, forgot to read my first bullet point, the important one about $3 million investment into the loop.
So Walmart has been engaged in this?
Not yet. We're gonna get them engaged. So it's just now being installed.
Okay.
So, but absolutely. So some of the big names that we have is Amazon, Walmart, Dollar General, and there's other companies that use that.
Who are they using now? You know, who
Who
Training
offers training?
providers?
I do not know. I don't know if anybody offers what we're gonna have under the hood. Because we
this
have,
would be maintenance techs.
Well-
With their,
we will be able to do various levels of focus. So we want to focus on the maintenance tech, obviously, but we can move up to operations as well. And because the setup of this, I mean, you can customize this 1,000 different ways. And so we want to focus on the operator, we're going to focus on the mechanical and then the automation and just how to keep it happy. And if there's other individuals that need to come in and see the loop, then we can bring that as well. And we're also adding some other features to it with FIDUS. They're coming in and if you don't need ignition, because ignition is a software package that can be put on the front end, it's really going to make this easy to use. Whereas the Matic uses a black box, and a lot of people don't like black boxes. So we're putting a front end on it that is ignition, easy to use, easy to access, easy to maintain. People that already have experience in that.
So I guess the black box is proprietary, right?
Yes.
So they don't want you much messing with it, so it's
Yes.
not open source, so.
That's right.
But this is a layer on top of like an industrial maintenance technician, this is an automation layer on top of.
Yeah, skill. It allows him to fully access the data and maintain the system without having to call the Matic into your plant. Fun stuff. As somebody that's been in the industry for a long time, black boxes sometimes scare me. Because you're tied to one individual to come and get you out of a jam. And these are critical points in the process, so you don't really, I don't like sticking points. So additionally, what are we gonna do? So we have reliability lunch and learn. November 7th, we partnered with, I believe it's UE is the company that's gonna come in and do a quick lunch and learn. Again, they're experts in the field of reliability. If I'm not mistaken, I think they're gonna talk about some ultrasonic technology for predictive failures on equipment and just how to use that and keep from having those type of issues.
Like vibration analysis?
Yep.
Yeah,
Well, vibration, ultrasonic, and other
Yes,
things.
and the intent is to try to get maintenance leaders and plant leaders at the facility to be able to showcase what we're doing. So trying to build these relationships, so trying to put on a bunch of lunch and learns to get the right audience to the school in order to make some great things happen. So,
I might just happen to show up with some flyers about some of the other things that we offer during the class, those kind of things. But take advantage of the opportunity while you have a lot of you're gonna maintenance managers, a lot of key people in that lunch and learn. And then art flash fundamentals, so KP Electric, December 2025, I think it's gonna be, actually, we're gonna work that out to be November. We're gonna have our first art flash on site, and that's gonna be worked out with KP. They're gonna provide the expertise, they're gonna provide the instructor, we're gonna provide a place for them to do it. That should be a lot of fun. And then what else? What are we gonna do? So like I said, refrigeration has a lot of tentacles. And so with those, we have a lot of demand for, electrical controls and troubleshooting systems. So when things don't work like you want to, which anybody's ever messed with technology, it doesn't always work the way you want to. You have to have people trained and skilled to be able to get your equipment going again. And so that's what we're offering. Electrical controls troubleshooting is fundamentals of electricity, how you use that digital multimeter that you're carrying around, troubleshooting, reading control prints, those type of things. And then, of course, AC motors is going to be another course. 75% hands-on labs, because people like myself, we learn from doing it hands-on. So we have some awesome training equipment for both those courses. And then the three-phase motors, we're going to get into lockout, tag out, which is a safety aspect of all equipment. You got to be able to lock that out, tag out, and maintain safety. And again, we're going to go back over a lot of the key elements and then advanced electrical control schematics, and then just continue building on what we built on with the first course. Again, these are 1 week classes. So these are, when you send an individual that's a great employee for you, you send them there for 1 week, they come back with new skills and what we've seen in the past is reduction in downtime and reduction in parts usage. I met some people that they were their go-to people. And when I saw their skill set, I was a little bit thrown back because their skill set was lacking. But these people would stay and they would do it. They were stubborn. And they'd also use every part in the parts bin to get it running again. But that can be a problem, be an expensive way to do business. So by giving them these additional skill sets, you see this reduction in downtime, you see the reduction in parts usage. That's the goal.
So David, Arc Flash is mandatory safety training. Where were the companies in your area getting their Arc Flash, meeting their training requirements for prior to this?
So
going out of the area or?
So we had an online where you yearly had to take this online electrical course. And yes, but as an automation manager, it didn't satisfy my need.
Right.
And so this is beyond that. This is the nuts and bolts, the PPE, how often you have to do it, all those type of things, the resources, where do I get this equipment and all those kind of things. So, and then also if you need an arc flash study, they can do that as well. Because every panel that they open up, yes.
Arc Flash audit?
Yeah,
Okay.
100%. Yes, sir. And then what's coming in the future? And I'm saying 2026, sooner would be better, but we're working on 2026. For VFDs and safety relays, if you don't know what some of these acronyms are, it's okay. Our industry partners know exactly what a VFD is. And if you've ever messed with them, they can be a pain. There's a lot to know about these devices. And they have features called safe torque off, and it just increases the safety for the worker. And they have to know how to tie in these safety relays with these devices and make all that happy. And when it becomes unhappy, it can be a challenge to industry to get them working again, because these devices are made to not be defeated. And so you have to show people, how do I do it right? How do I get this going again? And then PLC 1, PLC 2, what is the PLC? It's a programmable logic controller. It's basically the brains behind a lot of the functions inside industry. We're going to show them the fundamentals of code troubleshooting, and then we're going to get into advanced programming. We already have the trainers on site to do that. And then robotics, we're getting into FANUC and ABB. We both have the trainers for both on site already. And so that is just around the corner. Any questions?
Any questions of David or Brian?
Yeah, David, great report. Thank you. Feels like you guys have made lots of progress.
We are
In the last few months. Have you thought about, your marketing plan and getting the message out to all of the potential employees or employers, not just in Northwest Arkansas, but maybe the region?
So I'll let Brian talk. Yeah, so absolutely. So I'll let Brian talk a little bit about that because he's working with somebody to do those things. But we met with the Springdale Chamber just the other day. And I don't know, 30 key people from industry are in that room. And so meeting with chambers is one of the ways that we want to get the word out. But also, I can't remember who we work with.
Emily, we have a marketing strategy lady, Emily, who actually sends out a lot of flyers on social media and stuff like that. But to David's point, I think we probably need to have a lot more communication with the chambers. We've only met with the Springdale. We still need to get with Flo with some of the others. But I'd say one of the biggest things that we got from the Springdale chamber is that the industry is really looking for some electrical focus type training. At the time, we didn't have a whole lot to spool up. So I think before we go to these other chambers, that's something big that we've got to get started. But outside of the chambers and the marketing, I mean, one thing that I'm trying to do is actually have, like I stated before, a lot of lunch and learn activities where I can bring the industry leaders to the facility. That way I'll be able to showcase a lot of stuff.
And I believe you guys met with Cody a couple weeks ago, and we're gonna try to start pushing out from Commerce some of their marketing material. And then once we get it open, it's long been my dream, once we get the ammonia refrigeration, to go to St. Louis and meet with Anheuser-Busch, and because we want everybody in the region to be doing ammonia refrigeration in NWTI. So, everyone at this table knows. I have a special place in my heart for this project. Been working on it for a long time, and David and Brian, I just can't thank you enough for the work that you've done. And the slow roll and the failures in the past have nothing to do with the current leadership, and just can't say enough about what you guys have done in a very short amount of time.
Well, we really appreciate it. I know you're fully invested. And when I was going down the history and I was writing all that up, I was thinking about you, and you have so much invested. Stephanie apologizes to me sometimes because she's so frank and she wants it right now. And I get it, and she understands the need. It's right now is the need. So we're working as hard as we can diligently to do all those things. We hope to see all this hard work and effort that's been put in start to come together. And I think it is coming together. And some of the partnerships that just happened recently kind of show that too. I feel odd about coming in May and then it's just like perfect timing. There's been a lot of people before me that have done a lot of work to get us where we're at today. And I feel like I just get to show up and have a lot of fun. So that's what we're trying to do. Yes.
David, and maybe this is a question for Chris and Stacy as well. Always the elusive question of being able to track completers or graduates and to be able to see how, whatever milestone 12 or 18 or 24 months out, how their lot has been improved. Are you all able to track people's income improvements over time, or you solve that puzzle?
Can I jump in?
Sounds like you can. Yeah.
So, the Access Act, we were asked to put a measure of return on investment, individual return on investment into the formula for academic degrees. So we have a very, very good longitudinal data system, about 2011 at the state. So what we started with this past year is we data matched UI wages to degrees, associate and bachelor degrees. We've been collecting non-credit data since about 2016, 17, but not with fidelity because it wasn't funded. So now we're going to fund it. So we just got our better non-credit data collection, which is what they're both talking about this year.
Yeah.
So, and remember, we're just collecting right now. This matches on associate and bachelor degrees. This year, we're doing associate, bachelor's, and technical certificates, which are shorter term. The next year, we're doing all of that plus graduate degrees. And the year after that, we're doing all of that, and we'll have 4 years worth of non-credit data that we can make some value judgments on.
Yeah.
Because I contend that the least common denominator in all this is wage growth. And we're going to be able to point to wage growth. And at that time, we're gonna look at what really makes a difference.
Yeah.
We talk about it a lot. If everyone can take a 2-week class and make $70,000 here in Arkansas, we're sending everyone there and we're dumping money there, right? But we're gonna be able to really call a spade from a graduate school level to a non-degree certificate, but that we are progressing there now. The reason we don't do it all right now is one, the data is not good. And the other is it's a manpower thing. It's more work than you might think with a small shop or a small shop.
Yeah, it's always been.
But our mind is there.
Yeah.
We're headed that direction.
Excellent.
And right now, when I was at a school, I was expected, because they have to report postgraduate outcomes. Well, it's usually 6 months and then there's other things that go on. I would use every means I knew, phone calls, Facebook, email, you name it, to get somebody to respond.
That's right.
And if I would do backflips, if I got a 20% response rate,
Yes.
and when you do a response, it's self-report data. So you got low response rates and self-report. No, we're matching social security numbers. And that's real. So
It's the holy grail. And that's, again, going back to why Ken's the right person for this job, because you had to answer the same question. You had the same question you had to answer. Does this program work? What are your individual, does the program work? The individuals, are they adding value to the economy? You can't answer. We say, yes, we think so. But we call them and to be honest with you, I mean, they lie on what they're making. So I mean, and so even on self-report, it's not, the fidelity's not there. So you're right. And so when we get asked, hey, but what are they earning? We always say, well, the state's got the data. And so finally, the state's got the data. It's linked up longitudinally. And look, the truth's going to come out. I'm just waiting on it.
there was a very smart young lady that mentioned that we didn't have the data here a few years ago. I don't remember who that person might have been.
Couldn't imagine who that would be. How do you make decisions if you don't have any data?
So we're getting there.
Like menu.
Will you work with DFNA on that, or will it be through the DIS longitudinal data system and they'll get it from DFNA?
We data match, and we're able to, Robert, his team. JetX is that how, I don't know what they're using. We just did a data match with UI. So probably his data, whoever, we just did a data share agreement, and we get that, we send we send the social security numbers, we have the degrees, and now we're gonna have, one of the problems is, down this rabbit hole, sometimes companies and individuals don't want to give their unique identifiers and social security numbers. That's been a challenge for us. But as a state, if we're going to invest in that, we got to have some minimum expectation for them to share that information. If we're going to fund it, we need to track it. And I know, Stephanie, that's hard to try to get people to give their employee data and things like that, but we really need it to do this the right way. But I'm sorry to coach on.
Yeah, because with the wage data, you're getting those that pay into unemployment insurance, not everyone else. So
Right, they're doing like cash work, or
well, or even a 1099, or yeah,
I think
maybe
it's not perfect. I mean, it's flawed. There's flaws. There's, I guess, limitations to the methodology, but I think it's enough to make some value judgments on.
Yeah, we've been talking about if we could find out if they were filing state income tax, that covers everything.
Now, one thing
that's in the plan, but your labor market information you have today is the first step.
Yeah.
Because boiler operator, we're gonna link it to open source data and
That's
get
gonna
that.
be probably for a employer that's paying unemployment insurance.
One problem with that too is that with particularly in both of these schools, he's got people going to work in Joplin. He's got people that are coming from Missouri. And so if they're out of state, we're really good if they graduate here and stay in the state because we have captured data sets. But if they go to Tennessee or Missouri or Oklahoma, Kansas,
Okay.
David and Brian, what's your biggest issues, roadblocks, barriers, and what can we do? What can we be doing to help accelerate and remove barriers?
That's a great question. So I think one of the challenges that we have is just attracting people from industry. They're really the qualified people. 1099ing somebody is good for some and really not good for others. So you really limit your pool when you 1099. And it would be nice to be able to bring them under the NWTI roof And with a competitive wage, not necessarily wage matching, but something competitive with insurance and retirement so that we could keep the right people with us and have longevity and stability of the program.
Chris, how do you guys do it?
Well, we don't have sports.
Different group,
We,
different thing.
yeah, it is maybe a little different. I mean, obviously, we function differently, but the truth is, you know,
One of the thing about the difference in the two entities is all of Chris' employees in higher ed move to, non-classified employees.
Yeah.
So Chris can adjust his wage schedule as he sees fit, as long as he can cash flow his operation. This has just changed recently with David, but faculty salaries, it's not for one, it's top three in every institution in the state.
Absolutely, no question. You know, that's what I was gonna say, we really don't make it work. You just give us more money. And that's truly, right? I mean, I hate to say it, because we've got the higher ed component to it. So a lot of that borrows, I mean, we use a lot of that to pay for workforce training. So when I say, when you get to the budget, the numbers all, they work together. You know, when you start to deconstruct and you only want to keep arts and science money in arts and science, it doesn't really run a good college that way. So I think, the answer is, I just think we're structured.
And I would also say, I mean, and I don't know how you do it there. Do you just have one steel manufacturing instructor at your facility?
No, we have multiple. We have.
So that's the problem we have, is that we're hanging our hat on one guy.
Yeah.
It's like football, like we got a superstar on our team, and if we lose a superstar, a lot of our short course, yeah, it's done. We got 6 months to a year before we can stand some of this stuff back up, so it's a huge issue for us from an instructor standpoint.
Give away the keys of kingdom or whatever, but you know, our high wage, high demand skill comes with an added incentive bonus. So if these instructors teach 504 classroom hours and make us revenue, then they get a third of whatever they bring in. That's how I'm able to retain instructors.
Yeah, I wasn't really gonna say that, but we. It's okay.
It's the model, well, I share that knowledge just to say that's what everybody comes to me asking those questions. Why are we able to keep such?
And that's what should be.
Well, and David and I are thinking about the same thing. We've got to hire them in on the 1099, but we'll sign a 1-year contract, but we tell us instructors, you got to pay for your own salary. So you get the folks in the door and we'll continue to pay your salary.
The production bonus does, it really works for them, but they like it. They're used to it in the mills. They come, and of course they're making a fraction, but it's still hard work pays off.
They're your best recruiters.
Yeah,
That's right.
thank you.
Great question.
You know, any more?
Where there's a will, there's a way.
That's right. We'll make it happen.
Where there's a mill, there's a way.
I just heard somebody need 3-phase. You know anybody that can help with that?
So that is called a high quality problem when you gotta knock a hole in the wall.
Yeah.
That's a high quality problem.
It is, it's an interesting problem.
Any other question? Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you all very much. That's excellent. Yeah, those were both very encouraging presentations, and I think just to state the obvious, the scrutiny that Stephanie and her team applied to this, and the input from around this table and prioritizing this ought to be affirming of this type of investment in our state and in our economy, and just hats off to you all and everyone at the table for the good work. So I believe next on the agenda is Mr. Cody Waits.
Is it
Floor is yours.
was it the,
Yeah, I didn't know how much you wanted to say about that.
Yeah, I was prepared to speak to something that probably should hold off on until a couple of months from now. I'll say at a high level, we've been having some conversations with the Department of Labor on a pretty broad and wide apprenticeship opportunity. And so unfortunately, due to the government shutdown and things of that nature, that's pretty much on hold for the time being. Not to say that we don't believe that these things are going to happen. We believe that they will, but I want to get over our skis a little bit at this point in time due to the shutdown and things of that nature. And firmly believe that as soon as this thing opens up, and hopefully we'll have the board meeting, I guess, in December,
Yes.
we'd be at a better opportunity to speak about this at a much more in-depth level.
Okay, good. But thank you, and I appreciate your handling of that. Look forward to more good things to come. All right, Stephanie.
I've just got a few just high points to hit here. So our secondary area technical center enrollment report is not in yet. In December, we will have those numbers for you. Just looking across the board, enrollments are up. You may recall that we voted to no longer fund tier 3 programs, but what we're finding, which is a great thing, that the students who are in the tier 3 went up to tier 1 and 2. So that could cause us to have even a bigger delta between the $23 million budget from public school funds. And so in the past, OSD has made up that difference, which is, it's been in the last 2 years, $1.2 million. So at the next meeting, I will bring that to this board, and you all can look at the numbers, look at the data, and see if that is something that you want to support. I will say that under statute, this board also approves new centers and new satellites. We do have one request for a satellite that we will bring in the December meeting, and you guys will vote on that, whether or not to expand in this particular college. On apprenticeships, we'll have a great big announcement, hopefully at the next meeting with the DOL. Our expansion grants continue to increase. Derek Daniels, our Office of Apprenticeship Director, has done a great job. We always know what apprenticeship is in terms of the construction trades. But Derek has done a great job of talking to companies all over the state about how we can utilize that same strategy for everything under the sun. As a matter of fact, tomorrow we will be attending a meeting all day long, an apprenticeship convening about healthcare apprenticeships. And so this is a national organization that wants to expand nursing apprenticeships and healthcare apprenticeships, and we want to be a part of that conversation, and we will be there on that as well. We're using our federal grant. We have a $780,000 federal grant. It's the SAFE grant, SAEF, which is Apprenticeship Expansion Fund. We will be utilizing that a lot right now for our pre-apprenticeships. So hopefully, Jeff, hopefully you've heard from your partners. We're putting a lot of money into getting high school students to do their pre-apprenticeship to get them ready for registered apprenticeships. So hopefully you guys are going to be hearing a lot about, on the education side, about a lot of our students who are getting this pre-apprenticeship. It's going to help their school grades, which is why they're getting in it to begin with. The key is going to be, are they really going to matriculate into a registered apprenticeship? We hope that they will. And so that's something that we'll measure at the end of the year. So we look forward to that. On the OSD grants, we are continuing to increase. One of the things I'm most excited about is we have had the biggest increase ever on grow our own companies getting awards. That's companies that are based in Arkansas with 250 employees or less. In our last grant meeting, I want to say it was like 40% of the companies were grow our own companies. And in the past, we might have 1 or 2 companies in every grant meeting. So that's something we're really excited about. We've already awarded $2.2 million through today. So we are on track. My budget was around $8 million to grant out to individual companies. So that's exciting. You'll recall the ARPA grants. We have 2 sets of ARPA grants, the higher grants and the aligned grants. The aligned grants were the nursing grants. We are 14 and a half months today away from having to expend all of that money. We have not even spent half of the nursing money. So we brought all of our grantees together, and I said, you haven't spent your money. So how many of you think you can't spend your money and we can reallocate it to somebody else? Not a single hand went up. So what I told them was, if you don't spend your money by this time next year, I will reallocate it on your behalf. So get to it. So we talked about procurement, we talked about any barriers they might be having. And so I'm heartened because Ken, I think, lit a fire under a few of them. And so that is coming along. Our hired grants are going faster than our aligned grants. Because in your hired grants, you have individual companies and organizations, and they all had one project in their area regionally, like the hired grant, $4 million. We gave that money to a foundation, which didn't have to go through state procurement. They were able to go ahead and purchase equipment, get this thing off the ground very quickly. And so our hired grants, I feel much more confident that we will be able to get that $48 million out the door by December of 2026.
How much is spent now?
Renee, is it?
We're like at 10.5.
So we got 30.
But we didn't sign those MOUs until December of 2024. So we're only about into.
They gotta spend $30 million in.
That's right.
18 months.
Right, and some of them had to get architects for building and things of that nature, so, so that's my director for today.
You, the ones I talked to were like, Ken, we've got it ordered, but we're not gonna bill you guys till we get it, check the inventory list, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. I'm like, hey, this timeline, you've known forever, you signed, you do. Yeah, it's here, it's on the way, but, so I think, I don't know what percentage, but the three I talked to personally said that the biggest chunk of the money that they're tied to was things that are in process. They just haven't been received, paid for, authenticated, and given the invoices to OSD. So hopefully, they gave me a lot better hope than where we were.
Some of that's construction expenses too. Just this morning, SAU Tech had one of their grant in front of Pier to adjust modify some of their budgets to reallocate some funds for construction purposes and put more money towards workforce training. So I think as those projects proceed and as construction takes place and the kids' point as equipment is installed, we'll see more expenditures come in.
Next meeting will be December 9th. We'll be talking, we will have action items on that day, so everybody that can come, we'll have maybe a holiday theme to that meeting on December 9th.
Yeah, encourage everybody to put that on our calendar. I think it probably already is. Y'all, any questions of Stephanie?
What a great job. I mean, it's really exciting to hear all of it.
I love my job because I get to work with folks like this.
Absolutely, I can concur with that. Very nice.
I'd like to open the floor. Any ex-officio members, and anything to communicate or to share with the board?
Appreciate your service. Yeah, thank you guys. A lot going on the state.
I would just add, not sure if everybody was aware or not, but the announcement of the Governor's Initiative 1033. Not sure if did y'all speak about that at all, Stephanie? So Governor's 1033 initiative, faith-based initiatives targeting 3 counties, Pulaski, Pope, and Union County, kind of a way in which we're looking to move people from crisis to career. We have a stake in that, obviously, through our local workforce offices, through Eddie Thomas and employment training within Workforce Connections, through Justin Majors and his team, existing business resource, making connections to employers on behalf of that. So we're meeting with Restore Hope this afternoon, actually, as well as Morgan Worthington in the governor's office to continue facilitating how that handoff needs to happen from individuals that are coming into some of our local offices that can be connected to the 1033 initiative and what Restore Hope's doing with their part. And also kind of the reverse of that too, where individuals are coming through some of the communities of care and Restore Hope and how we can provide services and funding for training and things of that nature. It's kind of an approach to how we're trying to, again, help people from crisis to career. I know, for example, I was at church on Sunday and and our pastor and some of his associate pastors were up there speaking to some of this, actually, as it relates to some of the work that they're going to be involved in here in Pulaski County to that. So it was really encouraging for me to hear that as a member of the church. And I was sitting in the back going, okay, this is good. I'm glad you guys are involved in this. So now I got to go Wednesday night and talk about it and what our role is and how we can help facilitate that through our church. So just FYI for that. It's going to be a great opportunity. I think we're projecting to serve 300 people over the first year, 300 to 500 individuals. So that's one thing. I don't know if we've had any conversations around the corrections pilot. Any discussion on the corrections pilot, Stephanie? Tracy obviously is well aware of this and some, but we've started a corrections pilot, moving individuals from different facilities around the state into a single location here in Little Rock. We're going to be providing them basic skills, entry-level skills for careers in manufacturing. Certainly some of those skill sets are transferable, but we're going to be putting them through, they're going to have a GED when they go through this program. They're going to get a CRC, career readiness certificate, to prove basic math, reading, writing, things of that nature. And then we're going to be putting them through the Future Fit curriculum, again, basic entry-level manufacturing skills delivered through University of Arkansas Pulaski Tech. So we've ordered the equipment, we've signed an MOU, of which Stephanie and OSD were obviously a big piece of that, with corrections and with UA Pulaski Tech. And we anticipate that getting started, those individuals getting trained here within the very near future. 100 people over the first year.
We just signed it just last week.
So I think that's another opportunity for us to be watching over and certainly bring some information back to the board on the progress we're making there on both fronts. So that's something I certainly want to keep an eye on.
So lunch is across the hall.
Right.
It's ready once we adjourn.
I'd say one additional thing that you probably read about Google, the Google announcement in West Memphis, and partnering with Ken's team, higher ed and commerce. We did a agreement with Google where they're providing 10,000 certificates for any Arkansan, any age, to get online and get free Google Google certificates. I haven't seen the latest numbers, but just, it was announced on a Friday. It was a Friday. And we had 250 people actually inquired over the weekend. More to come on that. I think there's 15, part of this, there's an accelerator with the universities, with Google.
Yeah, so the universities can sign on and basically offer this free online training in AI and Google certifications to their students. And I think 17 was the last number I saw.
Okay, yeah.
So I might tipped up just a little bit, but
Yeah.
So the question from me is then, how do we make sure that that information gets to what you're doing in the 1033 and some of the other stuff that we're working on? So those people have an opportunity to take advantage of that if they want to.
Right. Part of our marketing
Yeah.
effort to get the word
But
out.
sometimes I think a lot of these people that we're talking about, 1033 and all that, they just sort of get left out of that bigger conversation of this stuff that's going on. Like the Steel Academy and WTI and all that, they just don't, that's not part of the world, they don't know about it. We gotta figure out how we help them to be able to be more knowledgeable and take advantage of those opportunities, because we've got a lot of stuff going on in the state.
Yeah.
Lots of things.
Yeah, I think Senator English, you used the two right words, take advantage of. Arkansas is in the game now.
Right.
And we wanna leverage this opportunity for everything, and thank you all, you Ken, for helping to take advantage of what Google's offering. Chris?
So I know I'm not a member of this board, but I would like to add, just while I'm here, we've got an incredible facility. It was the second largest donation in community college history, our Wilson facility. It's a campus in Wilson, Arkansas. I would like to donate that to the training for Google. If you all need it, obviously, we're not trying to step on Mid-South's toes or anybody else. Incredible facility. And if they would like to use that space in perpetuity, obviously, we're trying to be value added. I just want to let that be known to you all.
Either that or maybe said.
You can do that too.
That's beautiful
Yes.
facility, and okay, any other questions, hot lunch across the hall?
Just go grab your lunch and bring it back here after we adjourn, and we will continue just fellowship and enjoy some lunch.
Yeah, have a motion to adjourn? Second?
Second.
All right, we are adjourned. Thank you all very much.
Thanks, everybody.
Hey, love that, I'm having good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, very nice.
Yeah.
Sure.
We're meeting now.
I know, that's what I just told you. I said I missed all the. I had to go sit there.